Hello, we are Group 4, and today we are going to talk about how smart contracts apply in the supply chain industry. This is our table of contents. First, introduction. One of the key challenges in supply chain operations is lack of the transparency and accountability. Traditional supply chain processes rely heavily on manual documentation, which is prone to errors, fraud, and manipulations. Moreover, the lack of centralized system for data management makes it difficult to track the products and ensure their authenticity. Secondly, it is hard for forecasting since the historic data is hard to collect and forecast demands, and there might be some errors due to the manual documentations. Third, the lack of visibility. It is hard to track inventories in the warehouse and the delivery of the products. There might be some delays and disputes. With smart contract applying to the supply chain industry, it helps to eliminate the need for intermediaries, providing a direct and secure platform for all parties that are involved. Besides, using blockchain technology, the records and transactions will be stored starting from procuring to delivery. It will be easier for the suppliers to forecast. Smart contracts, which can also be self-executing, can be used to automate various processes. For example, a smart contract can be programmed to automatically place orders for raw materials when the inventory levels fall below a certain threshold.
Let's talk about our key features, starting with the product tracking. In this feature, the contract assigns a unique serial number to each product added into the system, which helps track the movements of the product through the supply chain. This allows participants to keep a record of the product origin, quality, and other relevant information, helping to improve traceability and accountability. Second one is the inventory management. This one, the contract maintains a record of the quantities of each product available with each participant in the supply chain, allowing for a better inventory management. This can help participants optimize their inventory levels, reduce waste, and ensure that they always have enough stock to meet the demand. And the third one is a threshold alert. The contracts allow participants to set a threshold level for each product and notify them whenever the inventory levels fall below that level. This helps ensure that the participant will never run out of stock and can take an appropriate action to replenish their inventory in a timely manner. And the last one is a product transfer. This one, the contracts enables participants to transfer products from one participant to another, while keep tracking the inventory levels of each participant. This helps ensure that the product is moved efficiently through the supply chain and that inventory levels are properly maintained at each step.
All right, moving on to the demo of this contract. So once this contract is deployed into a network, the address that is used to deploy this contract will be deemed as the owner of the contract. And this is done through a constructor function right here. So let's deploy this contract. In this case, our owner is the address ending with C4. And let's assume that there are two more participants entering our ecosystem. The first participant is the address ending with B2, who is our manufacturer, and the second is the address ending with DB, our retailer. See, what the owner does is, the only role of the owner in this contract is basically to assign a specific role to the upcoming participants. So what the owner does is the owner copies the contract of the manufacturer. The owner goes to the set user role function here. The owner pastes the address and assigns the role to them. Let's move on back to our owner's address and transact this transaction. So now the address has been registered in our directory. So if anyone wants to find addresses that belongs to a specific role, what they have to do is they can just use our get users function here, and you can get all the addresses that belongs to a specific role. Now let's do the same for retailer. DB is our retailer. So the owner assigns the role to them. Let's move on to the owner's address here, C4. And the owner transacts this transaction. And now both of the addresses has been registered in our directory. So let's assume that retailers buys a certain amount of product from the manufacturer. But before that, the manufacturer will have to add their inventory into the ecosystem. So what the manufacturer does is, manufacturer will have to use the add new product function here, where they can add products into our ecosystem. So that's it. What the manufacturer will have to add is the unique serial number of the product name, the total quantity, let's assume it's 10,000, and the threshold of 1,000. Let's move on back to our manufacturer, and the manufacturer transacts this transaction. Spending. Sorry, yeah, it has already gone through, and we can see that the product has now been added into the inventory. Moreover, the manufacturer can also use the get all products function right here. So you can see that the inventory of the manufacturer has now been updated. So let's assume that the retailer buys the product from the manufacturer. So what the manufacturer will have to do is the manufacturer will have to use the transfer product function. So what they do is the manufacturer will have to go to the product transfer function, enter the serial number, enter the tables, and enters the quantity that the manufacturer wants to transfer to the retailer. So in this case, let's assume that it's 10,901 and enters the receipt bin address. In this case, our receipt bin address is DB, which is our retailer, and paste it right here. Let's go back to our manufacturer and let's record this transaction. So now that the transaction has gone through, let's go check our details here. So you'll see that it triggered two events right here. The first event is our transfer of product event because we have created this event log right here. So it records that the transaction has been gone through between addresses from this address and to this address of this quantity. And the second event that has occurred is the threshold has been reached. Since the threshold was set as 1,000 earlier, the transfer of 9,901 means that the manufacturer now has just 99 product left in their inventory. So which is why it also informs the manufacturer that, their threshold has been reached. You got to do something about it. Moreover, if anyone wants to set their own new threshold, they can also use the set threshold function, and it will also lead to a recording of the threshold update right here. Now, we have restricted the add new function, add new product here, specifically to only manufacturers. And this is because it prevents the chances of double booking or double payment transactions. So let's assume that retailers orders a product from the manufacturer transfers the product to the retailers. But if the add new function is not restricted just to the manufacturer, what the retailer can do is retailer can always add new product to themselves. So it leads to a double product. So similar to Bitcoin anyway. So once in Bitcoin, the miners control the supply of the system by, pushing out the block subsidy. Similarly, in this case, manufacturer is the lead of the supply chain, and the manufacturer is the only entity that can control the supply of it. Now, we have also deployed this contract into our Goerli testnet here. So this is our contract address, and this is our contract. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now we're going to talk about the benefits of using smart contracts in supply chain operations. The first benefit is transparency. Now, you see, smart contract provides complete transparency throughout the supply chain process. It enables stakeholders to track products and ensure their authenticity. Now, smart contracts also eliminates the need for intermediaries, providing a direct and secure platform for all parties involved. The second benefit is security, where smart contract leverage blockchain technology that provides an immutable record of all transactions. This would enable that all transactions are secure and transparent, and it will reduce the risk of fraud and dispute. The third benefit would be efficiency, where smart contracts automates everything, the entire process, eliminating the need for manual documentation and intermediaries. It does not only improve the speed and efficiency of the supply chain operation, but also reduces the risk of errors and delay. Now, the very last benefit would be cost savings, where smart contracts does not only reduce the cost of supply chain operation, but also improves the quality of products and enhances trust among all parties involved. Thank you.
Moving forward from our benefits, these are some of the things we could do to improve our process even better. Number 1, SKU tracking. This would increase the speed and efficiency because we would be attributing unique numbers to our products and tracking them based on that. Number 2, warehouse dashboard. This will allow for a more coherent summary of our inventory so we can better analyze them. Number 3, lead time forecasting. This would allow us to forecast demand based on the season or holiday we are in so we can gauge our supply levels correctly.
Let's now discuss the limitations faced by these smart contracts. And starting with the first one, which is the lack of expertise. It's a common challenge faced by many small and medium-sized enterprises when it comes to implementing new technology such as blockchain-based smart contracts. To address this, there are a couple of solutions. Firstly, you could partner with a technology provider or consultant who specializes in developing and implementing smart contracts. This will provide you with the necessary technical expertise to ensure successful implementation. You could also organize training sessions for your employees to help them understand the technology and how it can benefit your organization. The second limitation is around digital transformation. To integrate blockchain technology with existing systems such as ERP, WMS, and TMS, you may need to purchase middleware or API integration tools. These tools will help you to connect your blockchain solution with your existing systems, ensuring a seamless flow of data. By doing so, you can maximize the benefits of blockchain technology without disrupting your current operations. The third limitation is regulatory compliance. Smart contracts need to comply with relevant regulations in various jurisdictions. To ensure compliance, it is recommended to work with legal and regulatory experts who can help you navigate the legal landscape. They can assist you in understanding the regulations that apply to your business and ensure that your smart contracts are compliant with them. The final limitation is security and reliability. Smart contracts are based on code, which means they can be vulnerable to exploitation by attackers. To ensure the security and reliability of your smart contracts, it's important to hire third-party security auditors to test the code and identify vulnerabilities regularly. By doing so, you can prevent your smart contracts from being exploited and ensure their reliability.
Lastly, we can talk about the actions that a company takes and the future trend of smart contract and supply chain. Here are some companies who has already applied smart contract. For example, IBM, Walmart, and DBS, who launched a blockchain platform to track diamonds. In our opinion, there are 3 important steps for companies to be aware of. Briefly understanding first, which help them to recognize the benefit of smart contract. Identify second, to ensure that they can use them effectively. Develop last, which needs to discuss case by cases. The future of smart contract and supply chains is clear bright with its key trend and prediction functions. And companies who adopt smart contracts in their supply chain process can definitely gain a competitive advantage. That's all for our presentations. Thank you for listening.